Hello, and welcome back to our podcast, Look Up.
Dummy fuck.
I'm Dominique.
I'm Jen.
And on this episode of the podcast, we decided to address a topic that is that is becoming huge, I think, in the US, and that is very annoying to us.
But then no one's talking about it. It's
No
really
one.
insane to me that no one is talking about the massive conflict of interest that's happening in the US of A.
Yes. So, of course, we're going to talk about Elon Musk and the way he runs his business, but he also runs Doge. But there's way more to that, right?
I mean, I guess what was most aggressive in the past couple of weeks is the infomercial on the White House lawn.
Oh my God. Let's talk about this.
The Trump infomercial commercial. He was literally reading from a Tesla script. Did you see that shit?
Oh yeah.
Like, oh my God, this is the most amazing car and I love it. And I think I'm going to buy 5 of them. And really, you should go check out Tesla.
And it was on the White House lawn with the US president doing advertising for Tesla. I mean, seriously?
Are we seriously feeling bad for the richest man in the world that like the stock price of Tesla is actually tanking, which is still quite high. It's over 200 and something.
Right.
So it's still not horrific. I do think Starlink is probably going to take a nosedive as well. But did you also see in the last couple of weeks, I heard that he did actually just sign a deal with the Indian Prime Minister to launch a Starlink contract over India, which is billions of dollars.
Of course.
And he's been wanting to do this for years and years. And now that he got to meet the Indian president, here we are.
Yeah. So basically he's doing business using his
the American people
in his position. We also want to talk about justice because in a normal world, there's laws against that, of course, and there would be a check and balance system, which the US is very well known for, very well designed. We have 3 powers. They're very well reinforced. Well, so, I mean, he really decided to go against the judges, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, here's the thing. Like, we call it the free press in America.
Mm-hmm.
I really am questioning the free press at this moment in time because I am seeing protests all over the US of A, not huge ones, but of course, no station is showing this.
Right.
So are they being told like, hey, if you show these protests, like we won't let you into the White House briefing room anymore? So are they threatening our press now?
And look what happened to Associated Press, right? That's what happened to them because they refused to use the name of Gulf of America for the Gulf of Mexico. And so they've been banned from the White House press conferences.
And, I even remember last year when the DOJ went after Ticketmaster and Apple for like these monopolies and stuff.
And Google as well.
Yeah. And now it's just like, this is the biggest conflict of interest of all, having, not only the world's richest man, in the White House, cutting every government program, of course, but his own billions of dollars worth of money laundering, let's just call it at this point in time. Right?
Yeah.
And no one's coming after him. Why? Because who runs the DOJ now?
Oh, Elon Musk. It's the same guy.
No. I think it's a Pam Bondi.
No. I was thinking of the Doge.
I think the DOJ is Pam Bondi.
Yes,
right?
Pam Bondi. Yes.
Bondi. So I highly doubt that she's going to go after Elon Musk for this.
No. So, well, let's talk a little bit about the Elon Musk case because I think it's really interesting. So, the guy himself, I mean, we all know him. He's definitely an amazing entrepreneur. What he's building is pretty phenomenal. I mean, Tesla is a very interesting company. SpaceX is amazing. Starlink is definitely providing internet to the world.
Yes, it is. But let me ask you about this Starlink shit.
Mm-hmm.
So can he watch everything we're doing when he has little, satellite shit in the sky?
Of course.
Okay.
I mean, of course, all the data is going to his satellite, so he can do a lot of things. The internet is going through this,
so he can monitor the entire world with all of the Starlink contracts that he has.
Depends on what gets on, but he can monitor basically all the internet connections. So depending what's on those internet connection, yes, it can potentially have access to it.
So Starlink is a bigger company for him even than Tesla, you would say.
Well, it's more strategic. Okay. I mean, strategically, it's definitely more important.
So if you have Starlink, I would highly recommend canceling your contract.
Well, but look, Jen, sometimes even in the US, you don't have any choices. It's like there's many places where I used to live in Groveland, in the middle of the forest.
It was Starlink only.
It was Starlink or nothing.
Okay.
Well,
if you can cancel it. I mean, I canceled this week. I canceled Twitter. Completely deleted my account.
Right.
Bye.
Okay.
And I know everyone is getting in trouble for protesting at Tesla dealerships, but to me, I mean, people are getting in trouble for protesting anywhere now.
Yes, no, that is very true. So yeah, I mean, how is American people reacting to this? Because I feel like, I mean, it's obvious, it's visible, it's done in the plain light. Trump is doing advertising for Tesla. Musk is still signing amazing contracts. Musk is using his position to meet all those officials in the world to sell his businesses.
They're doing it all in plain sight. I literally was talking to some Ukrainians this week, and they were saying that what Donald Trump is doing right now is even more shady than Putin, because at least when Vladimir Putin does this kind of shady stuff, he does try and hide it and make it a little bit oh, whoopsies, somebody fell out a window. But Trump's just putting it all out there. Oh, look, I'm on the White House lawn. You should buy a Tesla. So he has no shame.
No, well,
he's not even.
We know the guy has no shame, right?
So he's not even trying to hide what it is that he's doing, which is just crazy to me.
Crazy.
And I mean, just even what he did by, sending the Venezuelan gang members, although we have no idea who was on that plane.
Right.
The judge said no.
And then,
oops, the plane was in the air. And then the judge said, turn the planes around. And literally the I think it was the El Salvador prime minister even wrote on Twitter, oopsie, the plane's already landed. He literally said oopsie.
Oh my God.
I swear to God.
Okay.
So Trump he's not listening to anyone. He's just doing whatever he wants.
Yeah. So everybody's saying that, for example, what happened to USA is probably illegal and not constitutional. Well, we knew this from day one. I mean, you cannot break something that the Congress has made without going through the Congress. We know it's basic stuff, but he did it anyway. I want to come back to Starlink because I think it's very interesting, especially the way it has been used in Ukraine. I mean, Starlink has been key for Ukrainians during this war. It's key for drone navigation. It gives internet access to the military on the front line for cheap or free, because Musk made it free, and for them. And now we see that he's using that
leverage
everywhere.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Leverage, threats. I mean, I think he even has threatened to turn it off. Absolutely. Or whatever.
He has.
Which I don't know how the Ukrainians would get internet in all these
they would not.
Groveland type places that you're talking about. But it's insane.
Yeah. So it's insane to Jen and I that one man, Elon Musk, can have that much power without being elected at all, without reporting to anyone that has been elected except the president.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, usually an agency has to report at least to the Congress, and to be the head of the agency has to be appointed or at least auditioned by the Congress. That has not been the case with Elon Musk.
No.
And so nobody knows exactly where does he get his power from. And he's trying to do business with this power, which is insane to us.
Well, yeah, let's try and make money off of our new position. I mean, I don't see any bigger conflict of interest than this.
Right.
The other thing I was thinking this week too, and I feel like no one is addressing this crazy, which is, the Republican Trumpy mantra, which is waste, fraud, and abuse. I mean, when you even listen to them say waste, fraud, and abuse, because all the Republicans have the same talking points.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I would say, yeah, they should look in the mirror. Because the waste, fraud, and abuse to me is coming straight from them.
Oh yeah, right now, absolutely. I 200% agree.
I mean, what is more fraudulent than selling Teslas on the White House lawn? What is more wasteful than, canceling all of these contracts? And, the other thing I was thinking about too, Dominique, is like, okay, so we're canceling all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We're supposedly saving all this money, which I've heard is complete bullshit as well. So they're just like, they list all of these things on the Doge website. Okay. And then people go to find what the contract is, like maybe the USAID contract. And they'd already paid out half the money or whatever.
Yeah.
So they're just also listing the entire contract amount.
Oh, really?
So not even true. And then, of course, abusing their power, which is insane to me.
That's insane.
But yeah, I mean, waste, fraud, and abuse. Guys, look in the mirror.
Right. Let's talk about justice a little bit, because like now Donald Trump is after the judges, right?
Well, no, but here's the thing. Only the ones that don't rule in his favor.
Of course.
Right? So that's what I think is so crazy. You can't say that every person who doesn't rule your way is the corrupt one, right?
Yeah, no, you can't.
But
it's not the way it works.
But he's always been this like, wah, wah, oh, poor me guy. Everything is like not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. Like we're paying like $2 more for like, the tariffs or what. I mean, everything is just this whiny, bitchy, bullshit.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I agree. So, well, to me, that's extremely worrisome that you would go after the judges. I think it's definitely not the role of the president of the United States to even talk about it, or he already had some nomination power, which is already a lot. I feel it's a lot, and this is why we have the Supreme Court we have, which is.
But they are even pushing back.
Now.
It is exciting. It is exciting to see that some of these judges are pushing back. It's exciting to see that not everyone is. When you watch him speak, it is hilarious, because I do feel like we're watching like North Korean television to watch them all, the Republicans, like, yeah, like he could say, oh, wow, the sky is blue. And they'd be like, yes, it's amazing. It really is. If you go and watch some specials on North Korea, it's kind of what we look like now.
Yeah. So let's talk about actually what's happening in the rest of the free world, or what we could we could call the free world now, because at the beginning you and I were skeptical. We're like, people are gonna go with it, or they're gonna have to obey, But I don't think this is exactly what we see,
It's
right?
not. It's not. I mean, so, like I said in the beginning, we were always going to try and bring some positivity to
Mhm.
whatever we can
Yeah.
possibly bring. And what I do believe is the positive news recently
Mhm.
is that countries that we thought were going to start to fall to this autocratic way of life are now saying, no, thank you, babes. No,
Mhm.
thank you. And those leaders are starting to rise in the polls. Yes, you're seeing this as well?
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing that in the UK. The UK Prime Minister has definitely stepped in with this Ukrainian crisis. And honestly, the UK is in a difficult position. They voted for the Brexit. They're not part of the EU anymore, and the US has always been a very special ally for the UK. So even the UK Prime Minister stepping in and really trying to successfully, I think, take some leadership was something very strong. The new Canadian Prime Minister. So there's a tradition in Canada when there's a new Prime Minister, his first visit is for the White House. Well, guess what? Not this one. His first visit was for France and the UK, and he publicly said, "Oh, I'm going to visit a ally that I can rely on."
Yeah.
Like specifically thinking about, well, the US maybe not as much, right?
And I heard even France is asking for the Statue of Liberty back.
Well, I mean, that's not official, but yes, okay.
You
We want
know?
it back, please. I'm French, guys. We want the Statue
Yeah.
of Liberty back. Yeah.
And so, I mean, not only are we starting to see these, left wing democratic governments rise in the polls. I personally, and I mean, Dominique and I both, since we live in Barcelona, I mean, I see and talk to so many people from around the world. I mean, last night I was at a VC event here in Barcelona. I met a guy from Italy. I met somebody from Romania. I met a lady from Luxembourg. And I have to tell you, they all think that the US has lost their minds. Like we are crazy now in the US to the rest of the world. I mean, maybe not Russians, okay?
Well, no, but more and more Ukrainians. I mean, I have many Ukrainian friends who believe that Donald Trump was going to solve the problem in 24 hours.
Really?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Many close friends actually in Ukraine who says, okay, the tough leader is going to solve. He says he's going to solve it in 24 hours. Watch and look. Well, it really looks like is solving absolutely nothing.
Well, no. I mean, he had this conversation with Vladimir Putin, and look what happened. 2 hours later, he was supposed to stop bombing infrastructure, and he hit infrastructure and a hospital and the railway station and the this and the that. He has no desire to stop, and I think Trump is being so played here by
is being
Putin.
played or manipulated, or I mean, not a big surprise. We knew it. So yeah, we see European countries and Canada and probably Mexico as well, and a few others stepping up, and
fighting against this bullshit.
Fighting against this bullshit.
And we're even seeing people in the U.S.
Exactly. I wanted to talk about this, so let's talk about this.
It's super exciting. I mean, I really wish our news outlets were showing this. The only thing I think that we really are seeing is these town halls, which are pretty amazing. I gotta say, like, if I was in the U.S. right now and I was in a city that was having a town hall, I would be going for sure just to see
can you explain what is a town hall? Because we don't have those in Europe, really. So
okay.
What are those?
I mean, a town hall is just when, people come together and meet with their leader, whether it's the leader of a city or a state or a company even, because we used to have them at Zappos.
Yes, I remember.
And just, voice their opinions and grievances and whatnot. And we are hearing some grievances.
Yeah. It's a very American way to protest, and it's actually really interesting, and we see that more and more. Actually, we also see the polls that are not really getting in favor of Trump. And since the economy doesn't look so good, I don't know where the polls are going to go.
The stock market.
And the stock market, exactly. So
it's insane to me, the stock market. But he's amazing, and he's going to lower prices in 24 hours, and he's going to stop the war in 24 hours, and we're going to be respected around the world in 24 hours, and absolutely none of the positive things. I think he has done what he said he was going to do in terms of immigration. He is deporting people right and left.
Yes, maybe not as much as he promised.
Well, he's looking for more money. I think he needs more money to do this, is what I'm hearing.
Okay.
I have always said, sadly, that he's going to try and deport Ukrainians from the U.S.
Well, he's revoking their refugee status, special status. So it's going to happen. And now there is something very specific in the U.S. which is called the midterms election. So basically, where we're done voting, we're getting ready to vote again. So every 2 years we vote for.
But don't we still have 2 years on this?
Well, less than that, 18 months.
Okay, the first election that's super important is happening at the beginning of April.
Okay,
and it's for some Supreme Court judge in Wisconsin.
Interesting.
So that is going to tell us a lot, I think, about what's happening, because Wisconsin is a very large swing state.
Yes.
I know that the chick is the one who is not corrupt and the dude is corrupt. Shocking.
Okay.
I do not know their names. Okay. I have to be honest with you, but I have heard about this.
Okay.
So I do think it'll be the first indication of what's really to come.
But don't you feel like if Trump feels that, okay, in 6-7 months, it doesn't have the results he wants, it will change? For example, something is striking to me. I don't know how long that relationship between Trump and Musk can.
Everyone says this, but I don't believe this, dude. I believe they're going to be BFFs forever.
You think?
And they're going to live happily ever after forever. I do not believe that this relationship is going to bust.
So it's a sociopath and a psychopath.
Yeah.
Together forever.
And
interesting.
Probably the last thing I do want to kind of address is, the complete upheaval of what's happening in the Democratic Party.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
A lot of people are talking about this.
Yeah.
A lot of people are super stressed that they actually voted to keep the government open. I don't know how you feel about this. I personally feel like we made the right decision, because I do think that
I agree.
The Republicans could have done something way worse. If we would have shut the government down, could have been shut down for a long time. But what I think is great, and what I also think people aren't talking about, is I think this is the coolest thing ever, because that we are fighting as Democrats and that we're having a difference of opinion as Democrats is a good thing. We shouldn't all be thinking that one way is perfect, because if we do, then we're North Korea, just like the Republicans.
Absolutely.
And we all just do everything that MAGA and Project 2025 wants to have done. So, you know what? Let's fight amongst ourselves and let's think about the best way forward. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think it's so bad. Okay. I think everyone should be happy about this, right?
Let's end on this.
A difference of opinion is what makes freedom and democracy a real thing. So I'm excited. You guys fight it out amongst yourselves.
Yes, let's fight.
I can't wait to see who ends up being the next leader of the party.
We'll see.
Who do you have in mind that you want?
I honestly, I don't know. At this point, I don't know. What do you have in mind?
I have a top 5 right now.
You do? Well, I don't.
I have a top 5. I mean, obviously, I'm a super giant fan of Gavin Newsom. I mean,
Okay.
I know California's a bit crazy, but we do
Yeah.
need a hot guy in the White House again, I
I want
think.
a woman.
No.
Oh, come on, Jen. America
No.
needs a woman
America's not
president.
ready for it. We've lost already twice with a woman. We cannot take another.
I
I'm sorry to say, but I feel like in my lifetime, I will never see a woman president. I think America is too backwards for this.
okay.
So I think no,
I hope
although I
differently.
love Gretchen from Michigan. She's amazing.
She's amazing.
Go Gretch, but sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
So okay, Gavin Newsom,
Okay.
my personal fave.
Okay.
What about Pete Buttigieg?
Oh, Pete. Okay. Well,
I mean-
so what you're saying is we might see a gay president before we see a woman president.
Well, we saw a black man in the White House twice before we saw a woman. So,
Yeah.
and I never thought I would see that in my lifetime.
He was good. I mean, during the campaign, I think he's the one who really stand out. I mean, he would go on Fox News and fight, and that guy likes a good fight.
So Pete Buttigieg could be cool.
Okay.
What about Josh Shapiro? We could have a Jew in the White House. Okay?
That would be interesting. I
would love this. He's a super smart guy. I've been watching him and Pete Buttigieg.
Okay.
Super amazing.
Okay.
And then some other people are talking about some unconventional candidates as well, like that John Fetterman who like wears like a million track suits. Do you know that guy?
Okay. No, I don't.
Okay, you're gonna have to look him up.
Okay.
But I for me, I'm a Shapiro, Buttigieg, Newsom. Those are my top three.
Newsom. I don't know about Newsom. But it's okay. I never really liked the persona.
Okay, yeah, but have you seen what he's doing? Okay, so he has a new podcast.
Okay.
You really should watch it.
Okay.
And he's bringing on very right-wing MAGA guests.
Okay.
To talk to them and try and understand why they are where they are. Okay. You know?
Okay.
So we applaud you for this, man. Like, go for it, Gavin.
Well, thank you guys. So once again, don't hesitate, comment, share your ideas, share your thoughts.
And don't forget to look up.
Dummy fuck.